we had major news drop on Friday when our checkup released. Go check it out if you haven't done so already. Some DC news that a live action Teen Titans movie is now in the works with James Gunn's DCU. Anna Noguera is writing the script. She is the writer for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, also set under James Gunn's DCU. Ricky Flex, what was your excitement level at when this was announced?
When we were kids, loved the Teen Titans. In the 2000s, they had the TV show. I think it was 5 seasons, and it started in like '03 or '04. Loved it. I loved the Teen
Fire.
Titans. Um, I think that this and like I didn't watch Titans or the show, live action show. I didn't watch it, but I always wanted to. I know our brother, the DC correspondent here, slash Lord of the Rings
Big
correspondent,
Mike.
Big Mike. He's a big Titans fan. The show. I like this. I think it's about time we tried this at the cinematic level, and I think that Anna Nagiri, Nagira,
Noguera.
I,
Noguera.
I like this because you know what it means. Supergirl might be good. Like this, I like that. If you're rehiring her for a different project, it means James Gunn wants her on as much stuff as possible. And for Teen Titans, something that hasn't really worked cinematically ever, that's a big step for me. My only other question would be: is this a part of the DCU or Elseworlds?
I would assume it is a part of the DCU if you have the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow writer on this project.
It's
I don't
just
think it would, if it's Elseworlds, I think those are really special occasions. Like it will be largely pronounced that it is an Elseworlds project if it is in fact greenlit. We will know if it is Elseworlds.
okay. It's just that what do you do with Robin slash like you know what I mean? Because the
Yes,
Batman movie is gonna have a Robin in it, and so that just doesn't make sense to me.
it's a huge part of the conversation, Ricky Flex. It's a massive part of the conversation. This is why I wanted to talk about it on what was it called again? Not the
Follow
checkup,
up.
the follow up. We have Damian Wayne that's going to be introduced in Batman the Brave and the Bold. Like he is largely considered the fourth Robin that's introduced for Batman when it comes to Batman lore, right? You have Dick Grayson, you have Jason Todd, you have Tim Drake, and then you have Damian Wayne, which is blood related to Bruce Wayne, his son. And that's what we're getting in Brave and the Bold. So are we going to be getting a Robin as the lead in Teen Titans, or are we more likely to get like a Dick Grayson as Nightwing? I think the latter, And to me, that's exciting because we've never seen a Nightwing on screen. We haven't seen a Robin in quite a long time. People have been wanting that, but imagine the satisfaction for Batman fans if you can get a Batman, not only one but two different Batmans, two different worlds. You can get a Robin and you get a Nightwing. Damn, I love that. Give me that. That's gonna be great. And it's for the Titan show. That show felt like it had a lot of promise when it was first introduced. Remember that trailer that came out where Brenton Thwaites as Nightwing's like fuck Batman, or he's Robin, and
Yeah.
he's like fuck Batman, and then like after that it's like oh shit, like you have my attention, right? But it couldn't hold that attention, right? It couldn't follow through, and that series seemed very discombobulated by the time it had reached like its final seasons. I don't even know if it finished, to be honest. I don't even know what it means if that series finishes. I feel like you just add on another season, but this is something where James Gunn has kind of like went towards and looked at like the CW shows, the Max shows, TNT, wherever Titans was on, and then you have like the Superman TV show with Tyler Hoechlin that was out, and he's just like, let's just get rid of this stuff. Let's just take these characters more seriously, these teams more seriously. Let's make it a goddamn movie. Let's make it a freaking event because there's a lot of people like you and me, Ricky Flicks, that have loyalties to the Teen Titans. The Cartoon Network show was one of my most watched animated shows, I think, ever.
It's up there.
Ever. That was such a great show, Ricky Flex. I'm disappointed that if I had to look at just facing the facts with Damian Wayne already being Robin in this universe, it's probably going to be Nightwing. But I would prefer Robin. As for the rest of the team, we'll get into it, Ricky Flex. But do you think it's going to be Nightwing, or do you think it'll just be like having two Robins at the same time, or one going through a transformation just like we had, or a transition just like we had with the Titans TV show?
I guess it would have to be Nightwing. I think that'll just lead to confusion. And I really don't want that for this new DCU where we were always confused in the DCEU. I think that's one of the things where you hire James Gunn, someone that could, have control and be organized, someone that has experience like in the superhero world, especially dealing with teams,
Yeah.
right? Guardians of the Galaxy, the Suicide Squad. So I think we got to keep them separate. We can't have two Robins in one universe. You got to have one. You got to have one. And I think it's smart too because we've had Robins before in the cinematic in DC on the big screen, but we haven't had Damian Wayne. We haven't had Nightwing. I think this is great.
I will say, like you brought up the idea of Anna Noguera coming on as the writer here. She's doing Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. And you're like, oh, that must be a good sign. James Gunn must like her. And James Gunn has good taste when it comes to superhero projects. But the only thing I'd say, we have not seen what she has put to screen yet. We have not seen it, you know? So like we're putting full faith in this person with a team up movie following Supergirl despite not having any like actual experience of superheroes being put to screen. To me, that's like, okay, James Gunn could be confident in her, but does that mean everybody else is gonna like it? I don't know. I don't know. People like you and me, we're excited about it because we love James Gunn. But other people that don't like James Gunn as much, but they have a lot of loyalty to DC, they might not be on board. I just think that there is a like we're putting a lot of faith in this writer and people are making it a bigger deal. And I think it should be more about who gets cast, right? And what is this? Who's going to be the villain? It's like I think it's very obvious move here. Honestly, I think the actors are going to be lesser known because they're younger actors. It's the Teen Titans, you know, and there's not many like teen actors that roll off the tongue right now, unless you're looking at Stranger Things actors just transition into the DCU. I don't think that's going to happen. What we've seen from the castings in the early DCU, they're not afraid to like do complete unknowns or just relatively inexperienced, like big blockbuster actors. And that's what I think you need here. Maybe Nightwing's a big name, all right. But what you need is a big time villain. Deathstroke, we've been looking for a Deathstroke type of role. He was in the post credit for Justice League in the old DCEU with Joe Manganiello in the role. And everyone kept saying he's going to be the villain in the next Batman movie, the Batfleck movie that comes. Like he's more known for being a Teen Titans villain. This is a good opportunity if you want lesser known actors, but big name heroes and going against a big name villain. I think Deathstroke is the guy to get really people's attention.
Yeah, and not cast Joe Manganiello because then it'll be like
No.
yeah, because then you'll be like, oh, DCU, it's got to be separate. Keep it separate. Keep it simple.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think Nightwing's the leader, Robin, whoever it's going to be in this makeup of the Teen Titans. That should be like a relatively known name, like almost like a Dylan O'Brien. I was thinking, someone that's been rumored for the role for quite some time, a Logan Lerman, who like those two guys are very interchangeable with the roles that they play
Yes.
and their looks. And if you want to do someone that's even less known, I'm okay with it. But I don't want a bunch of Stranger Things kids just popping up in the DCU. That's like the least uh that would feel very like like you didn't take the effort. You didn't take the time to cast the roles. You were taking the easy route. And I'm looking for like James Gunn, who's more particular with the castings. I would predict it's going to be relative unknowns. And I hope they're young because it is the Teen Titans. You got to stay to the core of what these characters are in their like maturity levels. And that's like why the animated show was so good for young audiences because we were just like laughing along with them. They're making stupid
Right.
mistakes. We need that in the live action. You got to have that same feel. And last thing, they beat the Young Avengers. If this comes out before the Young Avengers, right? I want to see Teen Titans over Young Avengers. I'll tell you that. They're more badass. DC has better catalog of characters. I'm very excited for this, Ricky Flex. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I would just say one last thing with this is that if you're gonna do Teen Titans and be a part of the universe, that means they gotta be in multiple. They'll probably be in multiple projects, and you could only be teens for so long. So they gotta film stuff rather quickly if they're gonna do more than one movie, or these characters are gonna be in other stuff. So
Mm.
that is my only thing I would say with the potential problem with this, where you look at Stranger Things season 5 and these kids are 30 years old and they're playing high schoolers.
What's also interesting is that a lot of the members of the Team Titans have connections to more experienced and established heroes. So like Wally West, like being a part of Teen Titans, or like some type of version of the Flash, that means the Flash is already established. He's already here. So it's like you got to be really careful who you choose. Like Aqualad, is he gonna be part of the Teen Titans? Right. That
Yeah,
means
if I
you already have an Aquaman established. You have to do like a Starfire. You got to do a Raven. You could do a Cyborg. You could do a Beast Boy and a Nightwing. But is there anyone else that's going to be a part of this? Because if you include other people, a lot of these heroes that are part of the Teen Titans, some of them are sidekicks formerly of big name heroes. So I think like Nightwing's gonna be the only one that has an association with a big name from the DC universe.
but I like that. I think that's the move, you
Yeah.
know, and keep them separate. And like I said, there could be potential problems if they have to overlap.
And you build out the Bat universe a little bit. That's good. That's what people want. That's what people like. It takes a long time. So it's like we have Bat Reeves' Batman, where it's like if a Robin's introduced there, I'll be shocked, especially when a franchise that's probably going to be a trilogy. Like there's almost time like there's not going to be an extension of that trilogy. It's like it's going to be finite by the time the Batman Part 3 comes out. Here it's like you're starting off in the DCU with a Batman and Robin, and because it's Damian Wayne, like we're so knowledgeable about these characters. These characters already exist. That is so cool to see like what the future of the Bat family is going to look like, because we've never gotten to that point. People are so concerned with like, okay, one movie to the next. Oh, we have to make 3 movies. We can't extend, just like, for example, Dark Knight Rises, where they tease Robin at the end, but we know we're never going to see Robin.
Yeah.
They're like you have time, you have the expansiveness with the DCU that you don't have with like the Reeves verse. It's cool. It's gonna be